you find the angle of the jaw and you put your fourth finger right on the angle of the jaw, and then I just lay my third finger right next to it, and that allows me to have force right up that the long axis of the ramus, right? So I put my finger here and here, and then I can I put my palms on the squamous part of the temporal bones, and as I invite the mandible belly dad, right,
Yeah.
superiorly to her, and it starts to unwind, and I can feel it. Still got stuff from the hyoid still acting, it feels like. And
So you're doing light compression.
yeah, I'm just doing a compression, but it's mostly in tension, and I'm just holding it and seeing how the system responds. And if the system were in complete balance, when you put compression on the mandible, that'll go up and push on the temporal bones. The temporal bones will move superiorly, bump into the parietals, and start flaring out laterally. And I would feel that with the palms of my hands because of the angle of that beveled suture. But it's not even getting to her temporal bones yet. It's still unwinding in the mouth. But part of that's because we've already worked on the mouth and stuff. So we'll save that for working on it. And then remember, so then you just roll your fingers up and make contact with the jaw, and then by straightening my fingers out, I can just move the jaw towards her feet. And then I'm tractioning along that same line I was just compressing. And then I get to just see how the system responds. And this, by the way, is a great way to end a lot of your sessions. By just putting a little traction on the mandible after you've released the OA and stuff like that, and they'll go home pretty relaxed. Okay. So if there's no restrictions in the system, then her mandible will feel like it'll just keep going down towards her feet, and just keep going. If there's restrictions in the system, which there are, then you want to listen and see if you can feel where they are. So she does have tension in this left masseter more than the right one, and then there's still issues with the left side of the floor of her mouth and the left posterior pharyngeal muscles and stuff. So most of the stuff's on the left, feels like to me. Sometimes you can see an asymmetry where if you look down the line of the face, the tip of the jaw will be off to one side or the other. And then you can also, so her jaw's off to her right just a little bit, tiny bit, not bad. And this angle is a little bit different than this angle on the jaw.
And that's visually looking at it.
Visually,
Okay.
yeah. You have to sort of be up here to see it. You see it? Yeah. So the center of her chin is here, and if it were in line it would be about there. So it's not off by very much. Maybe not even 1/8 of an inch. But that's probably this TMJ or this temporal bone up here. So then if you need to release the masseter, you can actually come right up onto the masseter, and I usually just do it with energy and light, just unwinding. That's kind of what she's doing here. So she's unwinding on this left side. And I'm following the right side too, just to see if it wants anything while this left side's doing all this work. Okay, so we'll save some of that. So then to check the temporalis out, so the temporalis comes up and it kind of fans out. Fibers kind of fan out. And you know how all the muscle groups have opposition? You know, your biceps have the triceps and all that kind of stuff. Well, if you have muscles that push your jaw forward, what's the muscle that pulls it back? So it's part of the temporalis actually, that the fibers that run back behind the ear are the muscles that pull your jaw back, and they're the opposition to your, was it the medial pterygoids or something that push your jaw forward. So again, you can just feel the anterior fibers, feel the superior fibers, and then feel the posterior fibers. And again, just put little test motions in and see what, if they want to release or not. Okay, so we'll save that again for whoever's working on it. So that's testing the mandible and releasing the masseter and the temporalis. It's really, again, just the same kind of thing you've been doing all along with the unwinding.
There's motions though for the temporalis?
Yeah,
What
so for the front part I would test by tractioning on them, so moving them forward. In the middle part of the temporalis I'd test by tractioning towards me, and in the back, just above the ear, I'd traction back towards the table to test. And the masseter you can, again, just traction towards your feet. See. Now some teach that there's like 3 layers to the masseter, and there's different techniques to reach the different 3 layers, and I just haven't found that to be clinically important. Just release the masseter. So I don't see any reason to complicate it more than that.
What were the 3 directions in terms of the temporalis?
Just the direction the fibers go.
Okay,
So anteriorly they're moving this way. In the middle they're moving up and down. In the back they're moving back. So it's like a fan. The fibers come up and fan out.
Okay.
So then, to release the floor of the mouth, what we want to do is, this is a 2-handed technique. And so I would stand where I could put my right hand in the mouth, but going down towards the floor. So I'll work on this side. So go ahead and open it. And so if you look in the floor down here, you can see, so you imagine there's the floor of the mouth, but then there's like the tongue sort of sitting in the middle of it, right? But there's a gutter down each side. And so you want to start in the middle, and there's a little frenulum here, and some babies are born, that frenulum goes all the way to the tip of their tongue, and then those babies are tongue-tied, right? So I want to start right on that frenulum and go down, and then go ahead and relax your jaw. And then I essentially connect through that muscle with my finger, and the muscle's surprisingly thick. Like for her, my fingers are about this far apart. You know, so that's a good 1/2 inch or more of muscle there. And so then again, just beam energy between my 2 fingers. And for this move, I'm paying attention to where the muscle attaches to the mandible. Okay? So I'm going down the outside edge. And you just beam energy and unwind as you see indicated. And you just keep going back. Now, about halfway back, you're going to cross over a duct to the salivary glands. And that's going to be a firmness, and it's not going to relax no matter how much energy you beam into it. Okay? So just know that that duct is there, and don't waste too much time on it. Trying to get it.
That's on the lateral side.
Yeah. And then you keep going back. Now a lot of people have never been touched in this place before. So even sometimes even dentists don't palpate back here. But you can pretty much go all the way back to the angle of the jaw. And then most people's inferior gutters end as a pouch as the tissue goes and curves back up to form the back of the mouth. But you can go all the way back. Okay?
So inside the teeth.
Yeah, I'm on the inside of the teeth. Yeah. Okay? And then you come out and essentially go down the other side. Okay? And again, just following it down and unwinding, beaming energy, getting to that salivary duct. So she's got some knots in there on this side. So we'll let that's okay, we'll let the person who works on you work on that. But again, you can go all the way down, pretty much as far as your finger will go in there, all the way down to the back.
Just beaming energy.
And unwinding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And this takes patience. So again, get yourself in a comfortable position if you can. Make sure your table's the right height and all that kind of stuff. Okay? So then you come out, and what I do is go back to the other side again. Now this time